Besant Productions presents the Math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, been having a little bit of fun. We're talking about, obviously you have this, let me take this one out of the way here for a second. Okay, you have a million viruses, a million bacteria, give or take a few 100,000, around the planet. You have a toxic soup with at least 7 different things going on here that guarantee some kind of mutation will happen, okay? You have absolutely no control over the SO2 coming out of volcanoes and geysers and vents. You do have the ability to confront the fact that burning coal and oil does release a huge amount of sulfuric dioxide into the air, sulfur dioxide into the air, which then turns into the sulfuric acid, which creates acid rain. It also creates the cooling in the upper atmosphere, heating in the lower atmosphere, which is the literal engine that drives these massive storms you're seeing. Everybody is avoiding this still. Everybody is trying to talk about it being something else and some other thing, we can just move here or there. It doesn't work that way. The whole planet is getting trashed, and you need to stop and look at that and understand it. And for that reason, like I said, I'm doing this Occupy ISS International Space Station. Now, I've been describing how, let me get my notes here. I've got this, these wraps. Let me put this bag up now. And more importantly, we'll bring up our little space station design here. Now, you get the space shuttle lifeboats up into space. They've got nuclear engines in them, power plants in them that are producing probably a whole heck of a lot more power than you really need for just that small of a thing. But because it was driving those big rocket engines to get you out of the gravity well of Earth, you needed that power then. In space, you're not going to need that much. So these space shuttle lifeboats, literally can be used anywhere you need to have a power plant, including starting multiple, not one, multiple space stations. Every Lagrange point is a perfect place to put a 1-mile diameter sphere, and if you put them every 100 miles around the Lagrange circle, there's only room for what? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 of these things. So you have this whole thing. Now, like I said, if you look at just the general dynamics of how this sphere works, okay, you've got this thing spinning for centrifugal force that gives you your gravity, pulls you to the outsides of stuff. You have the outside of it covered in A, solar panels, B, maybe some kind of areas where you can go out and see and look up at the stars and understand that you're not inside of a cell or a cage or cabin fever or whatever. You also have up here on the surface places to literally boil water. You have at the poles where there is no sunlight hitting it, and you can make these little gravity wells here that are literally going to be hundreds upon hundreds of acres in size, that there will be zero gravity. You can do whatever you want. You put cooling tubes up there, okay? So you have hot here, the pressure is going to push water into the center. There's your heating for here if you need it. You can have the same passive system for air. It warms the air, and the air by its own heating process, expansion, presses forward, creates pressure, moves air in and around and through the cycling. I would prefer we use passive air systems so they're not dependent on anything else, okay? But you can also take up on the surface here, you have water boiling systems. They boil the water creates pressure, the pressure drives through, you drive fans, you drive electrical equipment again, generators and stuff like that, and you push all that in. That water pressure, just boiling it, will force water in, and you have two things now working for you. One, the centrifugal force will cause any leakage to drain back out to this outer sphere. And also the pressure going in is going to be pressurizing to push your waste material back out. And out here you have methane converters, composters, whatever you want. Because again, some mathematics scientists can sit down and tell you how much actual land space you're going to have on the outside of this 1 mile sphere. But you are literally going to have everything you need to operate a small city of 1 million or more people. Like I said, there's only room for 4,000, 5,000 of these out there on the Lagrange point that is currently used out there. Yes. How many other places you want to go from there? Like I said, you can take these space shuttles. My shuttle design. There it is. Yeah. The space shuttle says that once you install this, that thing basically becomes as maneuverable as a helicopter. Okay? You want to come in and go straight down? You do. You go to the moon. These same jet engines, these same blast engines, reactionary blast engines, will let you come down, land as a helicopter would, and take off as a helicopter would. You don't need long runways for anything. Okay? So you literally, by using the lifeboats to become workships, you have what's necessary to build this, because you can park 1 or 2 of them here for your original power supplies. You all, like I pointed out with those things, you have taxi service, so as you need to work on this mile sphere, people can be shooting back and forth in shuttles. Very quick, very simple, very easy. You can stop and have lunch in the shuttle bay if they want. You can put a restaurant. You got the lunch trucks. Okay, fine. You got the lunch shuttle trucks. Okay, so I'm saying you folks need to stop and actually start using your brain to think in a whole system. Okay, traveling from one to another of these, you can actually use the autopilot stuff that they are now currently developing for self-driving cars. Yeah, the little radar system. Oh, here comes something. Move this way, move that way, whatever. Doesn't need to. And then you just make certain that absolutely every single one of those has a manual override, so you can park it yourself. Something does come barreling along and damage something, you can put yourself in control and not a computer, mindless computer. And again, this is why I want Linux. Microsoft, Apple both believe in monopolies. They both have created monopolies. They are both very powerful monopolies. And just about every other company is now falling in line, i.e. Adobe, who I use photographic services and topography services and programs and stuff, for designing and modifying myself. They now rent me their programs that I have been using for 29 years, 29 years, something like that. Yeah, 29 years. I started using Adobe Illustrator in '88, in 1989. So. I've been using these people's product. All of a sudden, all of my files, absolutely every single piece of my file, is no longer my possession. Adobe now claims to be ownership of all of my files. All of my work, all the stuff I've done is Adobe, because the program will shut down if I don't pay them a monthly drug addict fee. Here it is, boss. Here it is, boss. I'm shooting you. Yeah, it's a drug addict system, okay? It's in your pharmacies, it's in your governments, it's in the way the governments work, it's in the way that you have all this stuff going on around you. Okay? They want you hooked to them. Well, this unhooks you. Okay? And to make you really understand this, okay, the first shuttles going up are going to be the first generations of rats. What are they going to first and most necessarily do? They're going to take out any asteroid that comes in close to Earth itself. Okay? You don't have to go out to the asteroid belt yet. You just simply sit here and collect up those 5 or 10 asteroids a week that are coming in near or at Earth, and pick them up and go use them for resources. Food, water, soil, metals. By the way, because I talk about the cooling up here, got to throw this out just for the fun of folks. Who wants to be the first person to find the asteroid with an extremely high level of titanium ore in it? Yeah. Wow. Titanium piping will definitely be able to take the heat as well as the zero, absolute zero of space there, so to speak, to do your temperature exchanges up here. You'll probably find it, you can use a little bit less so down here in this type of piping to do the water boiling stuff, but these will be dealing with some rather extreme, so titanium piping there will be very nice. So yeah, you're going to be out there wanting to hit up these things. You're also going to go out and take out some of these dead satellites that NASA's just waiting to fall back down on Earth because we don't know what to do with it and we don't have any way to handle it. And well, we're just NASA. We throw everything away. We're in the United States government. We're a government. We just throw stuff away. Buy more and throw it away. Buy more and throw it away. Okay? I don't teach that. You build shuttles down here on Earth out of recycling and necessary stuff. You get up there, you turn it into a taxi, a workship, the lifeboat becomes your workship becomes your satellites, your workships become the rats for retrieving asteroids, your satellites here, your planetary satellites become manufacturing stations, they become hospitals, they become schools, they become whole cities. Okay, whatever you want, however you want, you literally build it in there, and you are literally creating your own economy. Because if I bring in a big chunk of titanium, and they need titanium tubing here, somebody's going to give me something for it. They're probably going to give me air, water, and food, and shelter. Gee, what more do I need? Air, food, and shelter? Wow, that's environment, food, energy? Yeah, I got the energy in my life, in my rat, and I got food and stuff coming in, trading me for what I do. So there's your instant economy. What the United States does not want you to know. That is why flat earthers are such a big thing. That is why NASA is fake is such a big thing for CIA and FBI to push. They have to shut you down from believing that this is possible. Okay? Now, they don't want you to learn, and this is even more important, okay, like I said, first generation rats are going around cleaning all the garbage out. What are we doing? We're recycling. What are you doing when you take a shuttlecraft made out of recycled garbage on the planet and you put it into a workboat in space? Oh yeah, you just retooled it, repositioned it, reused it. Right? Repurposed it. The whole long list of everything they talk about, I'm literally showing you how you make an entire living environment by building from the ground up that type of philosophy. Everything you do here, all of your waste goes out to the methane converters. The methane converters remains are compost for your food, for your vegetables and stuff. We're not taking cows up there. Somebody wants to take cows up there. That's their problem. It's a lot simpler to grow beans and get all of your nutrients straight from the vegetables. You're not wasting a lot. You're not paying for a lot of nothing. You're not waiting for 6 months for veal and 2 years for a steer to be halfway decent for slaughter. Yeah, you don't have that going on. You've got a constant system of growing food, vegetarian, you can have chickens and eggs and stuff like that are more simple and actually work in a diversification of what you've got down here. Okay, so I'm teaching you how to actually live by recycling and thinking smarter and thinking as a whole group by showing you how to get off the planet and save yourselves. So that's what I say. Start fact-checking me. Go look around. Start thinking for yourselves, folks. I'm giving this stuff away, like Nikola Tesla. I'm so freaking smart, I don't have to care about the fact that there's some crook like Trump out there that wants to steal everything.